So is the Xbox Series S still worth purchasing in 2024? Well, the short answer is yes. And in a more detailed answer, this is one of the best consoles you can purchase right now, and you won't regret it one bit. Outselling the Xbox Series X 3-1, the Series S packs a huge punch, and it has all the features that you need in a next-gen console. The Xbox Series S was released in November of 2020 and released side by side with the Xbox Series X. Now, these two consoles have a lot of similarities. The biggest one being is that they both support next-gen games and have the same game title and library between both the consoles, which means neither console gets exclusive games. If it's released for the Series X, the Series S also gets that game. Now, there are some differences between the two, the biggest one being that the Series S is a digital-only console and does not have a disc drive. But that's not all bad news, considering it's also half the build factor of the Xbox Series X and nearly half the price as well. Now, when you purchase an Xbox Series S, depending on if you get the console or a bundle version, you get the console itself, you get one controller, you get a power cord, as well as an HDMI cable. And if you do go with a bundle, you will get digital codes that you can redeem on the Microsoft Store. Now, the Xbox Series S comes in two versions. One of them is Carbon Black, which is the 1TB storage edition. It is the black version of the Xbox Series S that was released last year, or the original version, which is 512GB of storage and comes in white. But the good news for both these titles is both of them have expandable storage that you can expand very easily through a slot on the back of the console. And guys, if you enjoy content around gaming as well as general tech, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post weekly videos on my channel, so hit that notification bell to stay on top of all the new content. Now, the Xbox Series S plays at a resolution of 1440p and up to 120 FPS. While it may not be 4K gaming like the Xbox Series X, it's still a big step up from 1080p gaming. So this is perfect for situations where you're gaming in front of your monitor, or even in your living room where you're a bit away from the TV and you won't really notice a big difference between the pixel quality and the pixel density. All in all, gameplay is very consistent between the Xbox Series X and S. They both run very smooth with very little bugs and lag. Now, while the gameplay might be capped at 1440p, all other media on the Xbox Series S runs at native 4K. So that means if you intend on using the Series S as a multimedia device to stream services like Netflix, Apple TV, or Amazon Prime, you do get 4K resolution and you can take advantage of your 4K TV if you have one. Now, being a PS5 owner, when I jumped into buying the Xbox Series S, I always intended on buying the Xbox Series X as a comparison. But the good news, and I was very happy to know, is that the controller is backwards compatible with both consoles. So whether you have a Series S or the Series X, the controller that comes with both consoles is cross-platform and works great. And to be honest, the controller, in my opinion, is probably the best feeling controller in terms of ergonomics. While the PS5 might have the haptic triggers, I just like the feel of the Xbox controller in my hands, and I will give Xbox this one. And guys, if you are considering purchasing the Xbox Series X and you don't want to just push yourself to a single device, I actually did a video review on it. You can actually check it right here, and it'll go in depth of all the qualities and the pros and cons of the Xbox Series X if you're still unsure on what to purchase. So now that you know the background and the specs of the Xbox Series S, let's talk about why this is worth purchasing in 2024, nearly 4 years after its launch. And number one, and the biggest reason, is the price. Like I mentioned, the Xbox Series S has outsold the Xbox Series X 3-1, and it's no surprise that the price is one of the reasons. At $300 USD, this is almost half the price of the Xbox Series X that's usually sold at $500. You get an amazing value with the console that you purchased, and you can play all the same games that the Xbox Series X can play as well. Now, another reason why the Xbox Series S holds so much value in 2024, and I've mentioned it so many times in this video already, is its game library. The game library now is pretty extensive, being almost 4 years since its release. And one of the biggest cons of a new console is the first couple of years, it takes time to amass that library. Now that it's almost 4 years, there are plenty of games for even new gamers to check out and enjoy on both consoles, but especially on the Xbox Series S if you want a game at a discount. Now, speaking of the game library, I have to mention Game Pass for the Xbox Series S. Game Pass is essentially the monthly subscription and the equivalent of PlayStation Plus, but it's a little different. And in my opinion, it does hold a little bit more value for the dollar you pay for it. You get day one releases, meaning new releases that have been released by developers are directly released onto Game Pass, where you don't actually have to physically purchase the title. You can download them through the subscription, and you can also play old titles for both current gen and old gen gameplay. So you can play games up to the original Xbox on the Series S if you want to go back all the way to the classics. All in all, I have to say there's so many games on just a subscription alone. You could technically just subscribe to Game Pass and never run out of games to play and never purchase a title after that. Now, another reason to purchase the Xbox Series S is that it's owned by Microsoft. Now, some people say Microsoft is a horrible company, but hear me out on this. Microsoft is actually allowing third-party applications and launchers to be installed on their Xbox consoles. So this means you can actually play and potentially play PC games on your Xbox if Microsoft were to eventually release a specific OS for the Xbox systems. While this is not concrete and hasn't been officially announced yet, there are possibilities, and this gives a huge advantage over the PlayStation 5. Now, not to state the obvious, one of the major advantages of the Xbox Series S is its compact design. Here is a side-by-side comparison of the Series S and the Xbox Series X, and the Series S is less than half the size and weighs less than half the Xbox Series X, meaning you can move it around your home from your living room to your office station with relative ease, and it blends right in and it doesn't take up too much space. This is very convenient, especially if you want to game on the go and you even want to travel with your Xbox Series S. It's actually possible. I think one of the biggest reasons to consider the Xbox Series S is that you probably don't need the Xbox Series X altogether. A lot of people still do not have 4K TVs or 4K monitors, so using all that extra graphical power from the Xbox Series X is actually going to waste. And in the same run, buying the Series S saves you money in the long run. Also, not all of us are full-time gamers or even have time to game even a few times out of the week. So if you're only a casual gamer and you don't plan on gaming all the time, but you still want to dabble in next-gen or current-gen titles, then the Xbox Series S is a more financially viable option over the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. At no point have I regretted purchasing the Series S. Even after getting the Xbox Series X just to give it a go, I did actually end up returning the Xbox Series X because I didn't need it. I found myself gaming casually, but not all the time. The Series S was absolutely perfect for that. So all in all, I absolutely recommend purchasing the Xbox Series S, especially knowing that Microsoft probably won't be releasing a console in the next couple of years. You'll be safe to know that your purchase will be stable for the next couple of years with exclusives coming to the Xbox Series S. Let me know in the comments if you have a Series S or if you're planning on purchasing the Series S, and let me know your experiences with that. But until next time, that's the video for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.